unboxing and installing the OPT7 Aura DreamColor underbody kit on the 2021 Supra. Let's see what's inside this cylinder. Okay, we got instructions, which has a QR code along with the remote, connectors, the zip ties, and all the actual lights inside of, it's like anti-static bags. Got two long strips of lights for the sides of the vehicle and two shorter strips for the front and back. Okay, so this is what's in the kit. We have the 4 light bars. 2 are 3 feet long and 2 are 4 feet long. They are all daisy chained together, it looks like, so all the lights can sync up. I have the controller that goes from the lights directly into the power source, which there is a cigarette lighter connector, or you can do a fuse tap. Kit comes with more than enough zip ties for probably 2 of these projects. I would assume that's a lot of zip ties. And the brackets for adhering these light strips to the car. And of course the little remote. Okay, so we have the light bars on the ground in the order in which we're going to install them. On the bars themselves, they have arrows pointing which direction the lights will go in certain modes. So you want to make sure all the lights arrows point up. So the very front, the arrows go from the left all the way down to the rear, and from the front on the right does the same thing and makes a whole loop. It's the arrows pointing that way, and as you can see, since these are the rear, the arrows are going this way as well. These lights will be daisy chained together. Every light bar has to be connected, and for the 2021 Supra, we're having the cables go up into the front fuse box behind the dashboard. And we'll go ahead and start installing.
Now on the 2021 Supras, on the previous one that I did, we came in through the back up here underneath. Came up underneath the car, right above the axle. There's a grommet here. That's where we went in for the rear fuse box. Now on this car, or on this kit, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be going through front fender well into the fuse box inside the cab. The reason for that is because on the front light bar, got 2 wires coming off of it. One of these wires goes to the control module. The other wire is gonna get daisy chained to the rest of the lights. I've already marked that on here. This one goes into the interior. This one's gonna be going towards the other light bar. What we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be installing the front light bar first, and then work our way down the sides and to the back. Wanna try and keep this center, as well as make sure that everything pretty much flows properly and you're gonna have enough length for your car. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna center this off the center bolt of the bumper. There's actually a solder point in the middle where the arrows are at. It'll be very easy to find. Take one of the screws, go right straight into the plastic. On this car, it's perfectly fine to go right into the plastic. You're not going to damage anything. There's nothing up there that you're gonna hit with the screw. Just make sure you use the provided screws to attach it. On the ends, you do have to be a little careful not to pinch the wire while you're screwing these in. If you decide to, which we are going to, you can add one of the provided plastic mounting clips into here to help support the center. So in order to do that, you can sneak past it. Should be able to at least. Go right into the plastic, and then use one of the provided cable ties and go ahead and wrap it through. Now when you're doing this, make sure where the cable tie lands isn't going to be covering up one of the LEDs. If it does, find a different spot to zip tie it at. Trim off any excess from the cable tie. One thing that we're also going to be doing, which we'll show later, is we're going to be drilling a hole through here so we can take all of this length of cable and run it through the inside of here. You don't want to have any of these cables exposed underneath, because if something goes up and snatches that cable, it's going to end up ripping the light bar off. All right, we've moved over to the passenger side of the car now. I already have this bar set up just on the lift arms just to hold it up there so we can keep it up there. Now, because I'm doing this on a lift, doesn't mean you can't do this in your driveway. Some jack stands, you'll be able to do this. Lift just makes everything easier. But the downside to it being on a lift is that I'm gonna have a hard time reaching the outer points. So we're gonna have to do those 2 outer points when we get the car back on the ground, and we're gonna jack it up and lay down and secure those 2 points. But for now, we're gonna secure the rest of the points, so this is at least mounted in position. There are these little triangle pieces next to the clips for the side skirts on these points here. We're using 3 here in the middle, and then of course we have the 2 eyelets, or the 2 holes on either end of the light bar itself. Those will be our other 2 mounting points. I like try and keep these tucked up as high as I can get it, but also without obstructing anything or making the light bar have to bow. This is all plastic too, so you're safe drilling into this as well. There's 2. There's 3. I'm gonna go ahead and zip tie these up. So run the zip tie through, push the light bar in, and we'll be good. These zip ties started. You're still going to be able to slide the light bar forward and backwards. We'll worry about centering once we get it down on the car. If you wanted to, you can, or if you're able to, if you can reach those outer points to attach it, you can center it up now. Got those all trimmed off, and now we're going to move on to the rear light bar. All right, now we've moved on to the last light bar, which is going to be the rear. We went ahead and did the driver's side light bar off camera, because it's pretty much copy and paste of what we just did on the passenger side one previously. You kind of have to find a good spot where it's not going to be visible, but it's still going to be able to show light. What we found is that really the best spot on these Supras are pretty much right in this general area back here where the muffler would be at. If you have a stock muffler, I would not recommend putting it back here. If you have muffler deletes like this vehicle has, or something smaller like the Borla mufflers, where you can still fit this back there, then that'd be great. But factory muffler, I would not even try, because it takes up almost this entire space. But for this, where we're going to be attaching it to is just on the ends. The center portion of it doesn't seem like it's going to have any issues, like any bouncing issues or any of that stuff in the middle of this. So it's not really going to need any center support, and it's going to be up high enough to where we don't have to worry about it dragging or getting caught on anything. In order to do this one, what we're going to do is we're going to use the end holes again, and like I said, it's going to get drilled right, or screwed right into the heat shielding that's underneath the car. I'm going to go through and make sure that this is lined up center with the screw that's there. That's one of the factory ones for the heat shield, and then I'm going to run this screw into here and secure it. These 2 wires on either end of it are going to end up getting tucked back and behind this heat shielding and get connected up to the rest of the harness. Once we run this, we're going to find a good spot to bundle everything up and tuck it behind any of these plastics or heat shielding, just to keep it from getting snagged, getting grabbed by anything and yanked out. As you can see, we've gotten a little bit more done since the last clip. We've done a lot of this off camera just because of how involved it gets in pulling panels down, but what we've done is we've drilled a hole right next to there in the plastic under tray. We've got it routed through the under tray, and it's poking out right underneath the control arm. We're actually going to route this up and above and have it follow the frame rail and go above, and we're going to be zip tying to that pre-existing wiring that's up there. We're doing that so that way we can keep everything up and out of the way, and so it doesn't get snagged on anything that ends up under the car. We're going to go back through, double check, make sure that we've got it done on each side. And where we're going to be attaching everything is we're going to pretty much keep everything tucked in this nice little cubby area that's already here. So I'm going to go ahead and probe the fuse box and see where we can find our 12-volt constant power. We're able to find that this fuse right here, we're going to go 1, 2, and then the 4th fuse in. It's a blank slot, and it has 12-volt constant to it. We use one of the fuse holders supplied in the kit and added a 5-amp fuse to that, just to supply power to the outer fuse in this fuse holder. So the only thing it's supplying power to is the light kit itself. This 10-amp fuse is the one that's for the light kit, so if anything shorts out, this 10-amp fuse is what's going to blow. I went ahead and grounded to this bracket right here where this floor vent is attached to. This is a pretty good ground, and I ended up shortening up the wiring for the barrel connector on this harness that came with the kit as well, just to make it a little bit more manageable. You can leave it long if you want to. If not, you can go ahead and shorten it. Just be mindful of which side is power and which side is ground. Now we're gonna go ahead and mount this up and tuck it back here, just that way we can get the cover back up under here, and then that's pretty much it for the installs. Definitely have to say these lights are very impressive with what they're capable of doing. So you can see light output is very clean, very nice, and that's just on plain white. Got red, yellow, light orange, purple, pretty much just about any color you could really want. Go into the modes. It's got a lot of cool modes that you can play with. Whole rainbow color change, kind of a white strobe almost. Yeah, I must say this kit was very nice to install. As far as usability goes, it's extremely user-friendly as well. It's really cool. I think definitely favorite color for us is the red. Came out really good. That is sick.